Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I've only touched upon 72 seasons once before by taking a look at Luxu trailer, and I actually did tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I listened to it literally just before we began this, and the problem really I still have with Lux is that it feels way too short, and it does feel a bit more of like a harken, like a throwback to stuff like 8 My Bitch and 2x4 and Fuel from Load and Reload. The only problem is that was good for 96 and for 97. This is 2023, and I heard, this just dropped like only a few days ago, and I heard people had some pretty mixed opinions about it. And before we get into, we find out for ourselves whether or not there is any merit to these mixed opinions or not, I should also emphasize that one of the things I'm absolutely going to do, probably either by next year, and there's a good reason why I want to do it for next year, is that I want to do like a tier list and then maybe a full-on video in itself where I rank every single Metallica song they have ever done. That is up to and including everything on Garage Incorporated, everything on Lulu, of all things, that 4-song bonus album for Death Magnetic, everything on Hardwired, that 2020 album they did with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, and also the 72 seasons. So there's going to be quite a lot to cover for Metallica over the next coming months, which between here and now, I think absolutely, yeah, I think we can work that in somehow. So let's finally get down to business and let's see exactly what all the fuss is about. So if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. As somebody who's been listening to Metallica for the best part of 5 years now, is there anything else that they've got to surprise me with? Let's find out. If Darkness Had a Sun. In 3, 2, 1, and... It's very unusual to start. Oh, here we go. Damn, Lars. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Low key, we're only a minute into this. You know what this reminds me of? Literally from like the first minute. There's this fantastic song immediately after Skull Crusher on The End of Days by Overkill. It's called Who Tends the Fire. It legitimately opens in almost exactly the same way as this. Who tends the fire? Who keeps the torches lit? Who fills your eyes with smoke so you can see? I hope it. I almost kind of hope it does. Literally play it the exact same way too. Oh. I am. Temptation is my father. Darkness had a son. Here I am. And the holy water. Well, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely... I will say this right now. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and you know, again, I will say this absolutely against the sort of things that do kind of come up quite a lot when discussions about Metallica do bring up, and how they've changed and how they've tried new things over the years, and not all of them have worked. But I actually, because that's why, and I'll make a big thing about it when I come to do the entirety of Hardwired to Self-Destruct, because there are some things I absolutely love about that album. I don't love everything about that album, but there are the things I really do. It's absolutely this. There's so many things to love about Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I say that because there is something strangely, and I don't even want to limit it to Hardwired. I think stuff like If Darkness Had a Son, it does bleed into quite a lot of other songs that Metallica have done over the years. Mostly because of James's problems with addictions, and you get lines like "hide yourself behind tomorrow." It's the excuse saying that, you know what, I will start tomorrow, or because I immediately thought I immediately sort of went to the idea of if you don't face your problems now, they will be there tomorrow, and they will be the ones. They won't be waiting for you. They will catch up with you, whether you like it or not. And I know, and it's again, so if you're relatively new to Metallica, a lot of the things that songs like Dyer's Eve and The House That Jack Built, 2x4, and there's quite a few things on Saint Anger. And as much as I dislike Saint Anger, there are quite a lot of things that are very poignant about not only the band's tumultuous and tenuous future, but also a lot about James's future as well, from his problems with alcohol, his problems with his home life when he was only a young kid. And it's... And if you really want a really good example, again, you just need to look to songs like that, which will give you a bit of a more explicit, or maybe a bit more of a graphic insight to the sort of things that will bleed into a lot into James's music, and a lot into Metallica's stuff as well, which is, I think it's fantastic. And even the video as well, where it was shown in half light and half darkness, indicating that maybe they were the beasts all along. They were the ones that addiction needed to be worried of, because they could just decide like that to beat their demons. Well, a lot of James's demons nonetheless. But also musically, I think it was, again, aside from the connections to like Overkill, and also a lot of the beats and the tone and uh, a lot of the reverberations seem to be heavily inspired by a lot of Metallica's previous stuff. It had like the torque and the pent up aggression you hear in Battery. It had the dark, ominous sort of undertones of disaster awaiting you, depending on what you do, from the frayed ends of Sanity. You get the almost triumphant, almost propagandist sort of affections and displays from Atlas Rise. And also, in fact, I was almost tempted to say, I'm not even going to call it If Darkness Had a Son. I'd almost rather call this The Unforgiven Part 4. Because in some ways, it strangely kind of does remind me, almost more than anything else, of the Unforgiven trilogy. Which is, of course, is the famous trilogy of not being able to forgive oneself, not being able to forgive someone else, and not be able to forgive anyone else. But this one could almost be not being able to forgive the future for what might happen to us if we decide that's it. We have completely succumbed to who we are, and we will fall back, and the future doesn't hold anything for us because we are not going to hold our future any longer. So maybe in some way that's my bizarre interpretation of The Unforgiven Part 4. But what's staggering and kind of almost a very therapeutic and almost encouraging, if you look at it this way, is the fact that they are willing to go past this. The future is still alterable. It is completely within one's grasp to change the future. And if we do that, then we can almost look at our past not so much with disdain and disgust and bitterness any longer, but see it as just a part of the process, a reason we had to get here. And before we long it, James might not even have to look upon the idea of his father as being a manifestation of temptation any longer, but rather a manifestation of what he could have been versus who he turned out to be. Maybe then he could finally learn to forgive himself. Maybe, just maybe. Also, I would be remiss to end this by saying that I don't remember the last time I heard Lars open up a song like this, or even play with that strange, charismatic level of pent-up aggression towards the rest of the world. Well, wasn't it Lars who famously said that that life is just one birthday party for somebody else, or something like that? But at the same time, I kind of felt like it's strange as well. You could put all of these aggressions and these problems into your music, and it's a fantastic way, just with music alone, that Lars or even Rob or Kirk, is Rob still a part of Metallica? I'm pretty sure Rob still is, and Kirk as well. They can they can literally use their own instruments and their history with the group and what they wanted to say in order to tell a story. And that's what I think the Unforgiven Part 4 kind of does really, really well. And this is something that Metallica has done for nearly 40 years, ladies and gentlemen, really well, is that they use their own mythos, their own methodology, their own style and tempo in order to tell a story. And it's their own story too. So anyway, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this reaction video to The Unforgiven Part 4 by Metallica. I'm not going to stop calling it that, by the way. And if you guys wanted to leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, because we want to know what your opinions are of the song for yourself. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.